What's up, guys? So with Pix Mode out, I thought I'd make a video about it. I've gotten some questions on how to set it up, and I haven't made a video about it yet. It's a pretty big feature. It's pretty cool. It's for anyone who runs a small man, like I'm in, and wants to do snake loot mode. So you come to build guild, you pick Pix mode, you've got GDKP and DDKP here, but if you pick Pix mode, you get a guild like this with a little bit different looking auctions setup. The wish list doesn't really do much except it'll highlight the star when you create auctions. I'll show that. So yeah, so here's some of our loots from our small man. So you get your you get your uh, you get your loot off your loot collector, put it in a sheet, then you come over here. And so the first thing you want to do every raid is make a new raid. And that clears the current picks, and that's important for when we go to export this to the spreadsheet, so we're not getting items from the last raid. But now, and then probably the next thing you want to do is right here, set the pick order. So with the pick order, if I just try doing something like this and it can't find the member in the guild, then you get this output. So for it to be able to resolve, it has to be on this list somewhere. It can be a main, it can be a box. So if I were to put this box in, it would resolve as my main. And so you just always want to make sure everyone is registered correctly. You can add boxes here at the check-in screen, and if you want to, there's also the alt main feature, the allow alt mains, and then on the check-in screen you'll be able to add alt mains, and it's the same way, it works the same way. Alt mains just get picked up as a main. That's more of a DKP thing though, but the big thing is have your characters registered so that when the leadership goes to set the pick order, your character gets picked up. So yeah, I was just on the setting page. One thing we like to do in our small man is, I don't have the small man guild on this account, but we've got a linked guild to our faceless GDKP guild and to our faceless DKP guild. And what that does is, I know these guilds have some sales of this, but what that does is it gives you the price so you can kind of guess at how much something's worth. Like in DKP, like when we look at our DKP prices, it's like, okay, if something's going for 20, I'm not going to use my first pick on it because I can get it for 20 on a main raid, stuff like that. Sometimes we sell gear, so GDKP mode, having that linked is good. So yeah, you can link to any guild on Raid Builder, and you just have to put in the guild name and password. So like if your main guild is using this, you can link it to the Pix mode, and GKP mode and DKP can all be linked together too. You just have to get the password from that guild. There isn't a set password option on Pix mode because nothing sells for prices, but yeah, set your logos here. Light mode logo, dark mode logo, avatar up here. What else is really important for Pix mode? You can still use the bot, you can still use the DKP stuff if you want to. If people want it, I could add features later, like setting pick order based on RA or something like that. So that's all there for the future. But okay, for this raid, so first thing I want to do is set a pick order. So I have my phone and my computer account set up, and you can do this randomized order. So there's blast on a computer, and there it randomized it that way. Let's see if I can get it to randomize the other way. There, it went the other way. Okay, so now that you got the pick order set, anytime you change the pick order or post items, the picking process effectively gets paused, and you have to hit this start button. So now what I'll do is I'll come over to the sheet, I'll copy this and output it, And so here are all of the items. And so at this point, you can just hit play. And so now what happens when you hit play is it says, okay, resolve people's priorities. And since there are no priorities set, it's just waiting for it's waiting for this person whose turn it is to set a priority. So this is my phone. So if he picks an item, it's going to get picked, and it shows his picks right there. And you'll notice the arrow is pointing down. That indicates the pick direction. So the way snake loot mode works, which I'm calling picks because I don't like snakes and not the animal. But here is the pick order, and it's pointed down. And so now computer gets to pick twice, and that's this account. So I pick once, and the arrow points up now because bottom pick gets to pick twice. And so now that he's picked twice, my other account gets to pick, and now the other account gets to also pick twice. So here's one pick, and then there's the next pick will resolve any computer picks. So what I can do, what kind of makes this so sweet and what speeds it up is, like, if you have a big pick order, you've got slow people, the fast people can kind of make up for them because, like, say I know what I want, I can come set a priority. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick this enigmatic remnant of knowledge on my phone, and I'll just explain how it works. So if my phone picks this auction of the enigmatic remnant of knowledge, what'll happen is this priority will get moved here. So basically the rule is if you want one of an item, you set one priority. If you want two of an item, then you set two of that priority. So now that I have my priority set on this guy, as soon as this guy picks, it's going to automatically pick these two enigmatic remnants of knowledge. And I'll actually change this to show another feature. So yeah, that's one way to hitting the down arrow when it's your last pick will clear it. You can also clear it with the red X over here. And say you want to make this a higher priority, you can just go like that and it'll figure that out for you. Or you can reorder it over here with the two little lines. You can drag and reorder it that way. But yeah, so it's going to resolve the priorities. So in theory, I mean, like, if we have a late raid night, we won't do bidding right after the raid, and what we'll do is just have, like, we'll throw the items up, everyone goes to bed, and then the next day you come in, you set your priorities if you know what you want. Otherwise you wait for other people to pick, and then they say, hey, it's your turn, and we just do it slowly over the course of the next day. But yeah, so what it's going to do is, as soon as this guy picks, I'm automatically going to pick these two items because of I'm going to get two picks since it's the bottom pick. So you'll see how that works. I'll take the Dream Piercer on my other account, and you can see it just automatically took those two items, and it's this guy's turn again. And it'll do that for however many people you have picking. It resolves as far as it can until it runs out of priorities on the person whose turn it is. And then it stops and waits for them to pick, and then when they pick an item, it'll just resolve as far as it can. So yeah, basically the two things that cause the priorities to be resolved is when I hit play. So if this is paused, when people set picks, nothing will get resolved if you wanted to do that for any reason. But yeah, once you hit play, that causes it to resolve. And when the person whose turn it is sets a priority, that causes it to resolve also. So yeah, I'll just get all these items picked real quick. And so basically I'm just going to set a priority on everything. And oh yeah, so if you click here, it'll expand the stats and scroll to the one you clicked on, which is pretty nice for a situation like this where I just want to click on a bunch of stuff. So yeah, basically if I just set priorities on everything. Then every time my phone picks items, my computer will automatically pick. But yeah, it's really nice if you have a ton of items to get through, like on Mischief for a small man. Like we're bidding out 100 items at the end of the night, and before this, it was a good couple hours to get through all the items. And with this, it's down to like 20 minutes. You know, it's at this point, it's just a matter of how fast people can pick, and it's got all the features of the DKP system to help you make picks faster. Like you can sort items by class, race, slot, all that stuff. You can hit clear down here, and it'll switch it back to all. You've got hover to see the focus effects. I've got ratios, pretty much a bunch of stuff to make this go fast. Before this, we were just looking at a spreadsheet trying to figure out what we wanted, and like you know, you can't see the stats, so it's really slow and wasn't great. But this is awesome. So now that all the items are sold, you can see what people picked over here. It gets a little bit funky on I don't have any super long item names. But if you have a really long item name, like it won't get indented over here, which is annoying, but it's a Flutter thing and there's nothing I can do about it, unfortunately. But yeah, so you sell all the items, come over here to the raids. Items always get sold to the most recent raid. That's up here at the top. And so now I want to output alphabetical. If you output with rounds, that's not super useful in Pix mode. I mean, it'll show you like all the items that got resolved in one attempt at resolution will get stuck in the same round. So like here you can see like this account picked an item and then this one resolved too, and then his next pick happened and so on. But what I want to do, it's super useful in DKP for a lot of situations, but in Pix it's not that great. So I'm just going to output by alphabetical, and I think I'm going to need to move that. So after this is pasted, it kind of looks like it's in multiple columns, but it's not actually. So you want only this column picked, and you want to data, where's split? There it is. Split text into columns and split by semicolon. And now this one column has a header row and the other doesn't, so it's off by a little bit. But yeah, so now because the sheet was alphabetized, the output is also alphabetized. So now you know, like, here's who looted the item and here's who bought it. And yeah, that is pretty much everything you need to make Pix mode super smooth and make those small man crews loot boss a lot easier.